Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic is really all about creating stability in a time of change. We're going to look at establishing new routines after your divorce is final. Divorce can leave you, feeling like your life is a jumbled mess. Familiar routines get disrupted, and figuring out the new normal can be daunting. But fear not, here are some tips to help you establish healthy routines that will bring structure and comfort back into your life. And first, I like to start with small steps. Big impact. So start small. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to overhaul your entire life overnight. Focus on creating routines for basic daily activities like sleep, meals, and exercise. Consistency is key. The more you stick to a schedule, the easier it becomes. Now, we're going to want to do a little planning with this. And, you can look at it in the sense of, hey, let's plan our week in advance. And that can be a real game changer. Scheduling your meals, workouts, social events, and even downtime for relaxation. A visual calendar can be helpful, to keep you on track and avoid last minute scrambling, or use your whether that's a paper one on the fridge or something on your phone. And then we also can have the opportunity to create new rituals. Routines are about more than just practicality. They can also provide a sense of comfort and familiarity. Consider creating some new routines for yourself, like quiet morning coffee routine, or relaxing bath before bed, or weekly movie night. I mean, it's a chance to actually have the routine reflect who you are. Now, we don't want to underestimate the importance of self-care either at this time. I mean, schedule time for activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. And this could be anything from, say, meditation to a long walk, or simply reading a good book. We want to really set some healthy boundaries as well. So, because divorce often involves blurred lines, especially if we have kids. So, creating healthy boundaries with your ex-spouse is pretty critical for establishing new routines. You want to be clear about communication expectations, pickup and drop-off times, and how you'll handle the holidays and special occasions. So, the more you can get these, like, say, locked in, then you can put them into your routine or your calendar, and it can be easier for you to navigate these transitions. But we have to be flexible. Life is rarely predictable. Unexpected events will pop up. So embrace that, flexibility, and be willing to adjust your new routines as needed. The key really is finding balance between structure and adaptability. New routines often take time and effort. Don't forget to celebrate your wins along the way. Acknowledging your process and progress, no matter how small, can help keep you motivated and on track. If you need some support, seek it when needed. I mean, really, establishing new routines after divorce can be challenging. So don't be afraid to ask support from friends, family, or a therapist. Talking to someone who understands what you're going through can be incredibly helpful. So building a new life after divorce takes time and patience. Don't get discouraged if you experience setbacks, those happen. And every day is a chance to refine your routines and move closer to that new normal. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions, please reach out. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. All the best. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic is all about navigating those tricky post-divorce holidays and vacations, really, especially when kids are involved. Now, let's face it, coordinating the holidays and vacations after divorce can feel like a logistical nightmare. But fear not, there are ways to create systems that work for everyone, or at least most of the people involved. I mean, sometimes you just can't make everybody happy in the situation. And we're going to start with something I say a lot, and that is communication is key. I mean, first things first, you got to have communication with your ex-spouse. And it's got to be open and honest, because we're going to create a holiday and vacation schedule that works for both of you, and most importantly, your kids. And we don't want to wait till the last minute. I mean, to figure things out, you want to kind of get ahead of this. You want to sit down with your ex well in advance, ideally before the holidays and school vacation schedules are released, to start putting things together. Now, since we are working with dates and things, we're going to have to create some kind of schedule, but you got to be flexible. You just can't be like, it's my way or the highway. It really, when you're co-parenting, you got to do your best to work with the other ex-spouse. And we got some strategies here for creating a holiday and vacation schedule. So first, look at alternating years. Now, this is a very common approach where you alternate spending major holidays with your children every other year. And so there's no swapping during the day or anything like that. Now, speaking of that, another strategy is splitting the day. For some holidays, you might want to consider splitting the day or celebrate at different times. You might celebrate the day before or the day after. I know in my circumstance, we have like 4 Christmases. So the kids don't seem to mind. Plus, you get to enjoy each one as they go along, and they get to enjoy each one with each parent and each parent's family kind of thing. Now, we do want to put that focus on the kids. The key is to ensure that your children have the opportunity to celebrate with both parents during important holidays or important days like birthdays. Now, let's see here. Remember, every family is unique. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. Consider your children's ages, preferences, and traditions really when creating the schedule, and be open to creative solutions that work for your unique family dynamic. Even with a plan in place, communication is still critical during the holidays. Be flexible and understanding if unexpected situations arise, and they can from time to time. The goal here is to create positive experiences for your children, and not just that, but you want things to be remembered very nicely with your kids as they get older. You want them to look back and go, "Hey, that wasn't too bad." Now, one of the cool things is you get a chance to work on some new traditions if you'd like. Divorce creates that opportunity to establish those new traditions. It's really can be a very positive experience to show yourself what you would like to do, and get to create those new memories, something that they may not have experienced before. Now, let's not forget that the holidays really can be very stressful, and that's not just the first few years after divorce. It can always be stressful. You never know. I mean, most times their holidays are stressful anyway. So don't neglect your own well-being. Schedule time for self-care activities that really help you manage the stress and recharge. Well, what if your communication with your ex is a little bit of a constant struggle? So you can look at mediation or co-parenting counseling. Sometimes a neutral third party really can help facilitate that communication and create a workable co-parenting plan for holidays and vacation. Now, it is a journey, so coordinating holidays and vacations after divorce can sometimes be challenging, but it's a journey you can navigate. And you can do it successfully. Many people have. With open communication, creative solutions, and a focus on your kids, you can create a new normal that allows everyone to enjoy the special times. Divorce may change your family dynamics, but it doesn't have to extinguish the joy of the holidays and vacations. All right? So I want to thank you for joining me today on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on the topic, feel free to reach out to me. Contact information's in the description. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, take care. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to talk about our furry friends and legal matters. And a good portion of this is navigating pet custody arrangements after your divorce. Let's face it, our pets become cherished members of the family. And what happens to Fido or Fluffy when your marriage ends? So, we're going to go over what you need to know about pet custody and a divorce. And it starts, really beyond property. I mean, the changing landscape of pets. Traditionally, in the past, pets were viewed as property during divorce. However, this view is evolving. Many states now recognize the emotional bond between pets and their owners, and that influences custody decisions. The legal framework, though, for pet custody does vary by state. And some states have adopted specific pet custody laws, while others might consider factors typically used for child custody when making decisions about your pets. Now, here's where consulting with an attorney familiar with your state's divorce laws becomes pretty important. They're able to advise you on your options and ensure your furry friend's well-being is considered. So, how do we decide who gets Fluffy? Well, here again, like most things, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer when we talk about pet custody. There are some factors a judge might consider. One might be the primary caregiver, who has historically been the primary caretaker of the pet, who feeds them, takes them for walks, and schedules vet appointments. Those things all come into play. Then there's the living situation. Which spouse has living environment better suited for the pet's needs? Does one have a fenced yard, ideal for a dog, while the other lives in a tiny apartment? And then you got your pet's best interests. I mean, ultimately, the decision should be to prioritize the pet's well-being. Factors like existing routines and potential stress from a major change in environment will be looked at. Now, there are alternatives to just straight up sole custody. And we could do things like shared custody. You could create a schedule where the pet spends time with each spouse. There's also visitation rights. Similar to child custody arrangements, visitation allows one spouse to have regular visits with the pet. Going to want to focus on that communication, though, because open communication with your ex-spouse is going to be critical at this time, especially if you're considering shared custody or visitation. Discuss a schedule that works for both you and prioritizes the pet's well-being. If communication proves difficult, breaks down, you might consider mediation, because there a neutral third party can facilitate discussions and help you reach an agreement on pet custody arrangements. So divorce can be a stressful time for everyone, including your furry friend. Throughout the process, keep their best interests at heart. Consider the impact of potential living arrangements and routine changes. And while it's, pet custody can be complex, understanding your state laws, consulting with an attorney, and prioritizing your pet's well-being can help ensure a smooth transition for everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. All the best. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to go into a topic that's really all about reclaiming the future, and that is resetting your life goals after divorce. I mean, divorce really is a life-altering event. It can shake your sense of security and force you to reevaluate your long-term plans. But here's the good news. It's also an opportunity for personal growth and rediscovery. It's a chance to reset your life goals and create a future that aligns with who you are now. We're going to start really with taking some time to reflect. I mean, before diving headfirst into new goals, take time for introspection. Reflect on your past goals. What did you want to achieve within the context of your marriage? What aspects of those goals still resonate with you, and what still needs to be adjusted? This self-reflection can be a powerful tool for identifying your core values, passions, and what truly matters to you moving forward. Then brainstorm new possibilities. I mean, once you have a clear understanding of your why, it's time to brainstorm new possibilities. I mean, what excites you? What have you always wanted to try but put on hold? Don't be afraid to dream big here. And this could involve anything from pursuing a career change to traveling the world, maybe going back to school or starting your own business. I mean, really, you control the future and the sky's the limit. And you want to set some SMART goals. Now that we have a list of aspirations, we got to transform them into actionable goals. And we're going to use the SMART framework for that. So a goal needs to be first specific, then measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, instead of simply saying travel the world, your goal might be save $10,000 in the next year for a 3-month backpacking trip through Southeast Asia. All right. Now, you covered all the pieces of SMART. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And that's always a positive way to get started. Now, when we have big goals out there, they might seem overwhelming at first. I mean, they're bold. Yes, we're going for it. We might want to break them down into smaller, more manageable steps, kind of like checkpoints along the way. And this will make them feel less daunting and help you stay motivated on your journey. Creating a timeline with milestones can also help you track your progress and celebrate your achievements along the way. So, as we know, we're looking at divorced, so life rarely goes according to plan. We got to be prepared to adjust our goals as needed. I mean, unexpected events or new opportunities might arise, and that might require you to adapt a bit. Don't see it as a setback, but rather a chance to fine-tune your path towards a fulfilling future. Resetting life goals after divorce can be challenging. I mean, really, to help you out, surround yourself with a supportive network of friends, family, or even a therapist. Having people who believe in you and your dreams is pretty critical during this time of personal transformation. And it's a journey. Let's not forget that. This is your chance to write the next chapter of your story. Don't compare your journey to others. Focus on what matters most to you. Celebrate your progress and embrace the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. So divorce might have altered your, initial life plan, but really it doesn't have to define your future. Use this time to reset your goals, rekindle your passions, and create that life that truly excites you. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Have yourself a great day. Hello and welcome back to another edition of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to look at a topic that's close to every parent's heart, and that is how to support your child emotionally after the divorce is finalized. I mean, divorce can be a confusing and scary time for kids. They might feel lost, angry, or unsure of what the future holds. So we're going to go over some ways you can help your child navigate this emotional roller coaster and adjust to the new normal. And it starts with communication. Just like most things in divorce, open communication is really the cornerstone of emotional support for your child. I mean, creating a safe space where they feel comfortable talking about their feelings. I mean, no matter how difficult or confusing those emotions might be. Maintaining routines with some flexibility. I mean, divorce disrupts familiar routines. There's no doubt about it. And this can be unsettling for children. So we're going to want to strive to maintain some level of normalcy in their daily lives, especially around sleep schedules and meal times. This provides a sense of security and comfort. However, you got to be prepared to adapt. There will be times when flexibility is necessary. Discuss changes with your child and involve them in the process whenever possible. We're going to want to reassure our child that they are loved by both parents and the divorce is not their fault. And despite the changes, your love and commitment to their well-being remains constant, and you want them to know that. We're going to encourage expression, okay? Children process emotions differently. Some might express them verbally, while others might through art, music, or play. Provide healthy outlets for your children to express their feelings. Engage in activities they enjoy, whether it's drawing, playing sports, or writing in a journal. And this creative expression can be a powerful tool for emotional processing. And it's also good to consider individual or group therapy. Talking to a therapist can be incredibly helpful for children navigating the emotional complexities of divorce. A therapist can provide a safe space for them to express themselves and develop healthy coping mechanisms. We're going to have to keep our conflict with our ex kind of at a low. I mean, children are incredibly perceptive. While some conflict is inevitable during the divorce, avoid exposing them to the constant arguments or negativity between you and your ex. Prioritize civil communication, especially when discussing matters related to your child. Next, let's look at co-parenting strategies. We're going to want to develop a co-parenting plan that prioritizes your child's well-being. Maintain consistency and expectations and discipline across both households. This will help your child feel secure and prevent them from feeling like they have to choose sides. Going to celebrate those milestones because divorce doesn't erase positive experiences. Continue to celebrate birthdays, holidays, and other important milestones with your child. These celebrations help maintain a sense of tradition and normalcy. And that we got to remember healing takes time. There's no set timeline for healing after divorce. Be patient with yourself and your child. There will be good days and bad days. Offer support and love consistently. And you may need to seek support for yourself. Taking care of yourself is so important. While you're emotionally healthy, you're better equipped to support your child. Build a support system of friends, family, or a therapist for yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. So, supporting your child through the divorce requires patience, empathy, and open communication. By creating a safe space for your child's emotions, maintaining healthy routines, and prioritizing their well-being, you can help them navigate this challenging time and emerge stronger. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or leave a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have yourself a great day.